Hey kids! So it's great to see you again. This video is going to be all about teachers because I'm trying to get the word out for a way that Lubriderm can help teachers. So this video is actually sponsored by Lubriderm. They've not only been a great sponsor of mine, but they also support many other important causes. You know, it's an unfortunate fact that teachers spend an average of $750 out of their own pocket during the past school year. So Lubriderm is trying to help with that. They have partnered with adoptaclassroom.org and are currently running a sweepstakes to give teachers a chance to enter to win $200 for their classroom supplies. The sweepstakes is open to K through 12 public schools teachers in the U.S. You'll need to have a profile with adoptaclassroom.org or sign up for one to be eligible to win. More than 900 teachers will be notified by adoptaclassroom.org if they won ahead of the 2022-2023 school year. We'll have all the details on how to enter in the description of this video. Teachers mean a lot to me, and I've always had the greatest respect for how they've influenced my own life. I can think of teachers from when I was younger, even my kindergarten teacher, how kind she was, and from an early age, how much that's influenced me. Her name was Mrs. Webb. So anyway, I always remember how great she was. You know, my mom was actually a teacher. Two of my sisters are teachers. I have a nephew that's a teacher, lots of good friends that are teachers, and my cousin is a teacher. And I'm sure I probably left somebody out. Teachers are everywhere in my life, and I think it's they do such amazing work. So we want to honor them with this. I thought it'd be fun. I'm interviewing my good friend Melvin Wells. He's a third grade teacher, and we've become pretty good friends over the years, and he'll tell you about that during that interview. So, but first, I do have a teacher-related dad joke for you. So, what did one math book say to the other? Don't bother me. I've got my own problems. So. Anyway, here's my interview with Melvin. All right, so I'm here with my good friend Melvin Wells. I met Melvin playing basketball a few years ago. I've given it up, but he's still continuing. And I just found out we're similar in age. I always pictured you like 10 years younger than me.
Nah, I'm an old guy. Shape, 55 next month.
55, and I'm 58. So real quickly, before we get started, do you have a dad joke for us? Kind of a traditional thing.
Yeah, my students.
And you have kids.
I have kids. I have a couple of kids. Yeah, my students always laugh about my dad jokes. Let's see. I gave my students pencils with erasers on both sides. They were pointless.
So that's a good one. I've actually used that on my channel.
Oh, there you go. Oh, well, see, there you go. Great minds.
Yeah. So Melvin, what got you into teaching? Why did you?
It was actually kind of an accident, to be honest with you. I thought going into college that I wanted to do something with sports marketing, and it really was a challenge for me because as I was taking classes like econ and accounting and things like that, I wasn't really bought into it. I wasn't loving the material.
I can relate to that.
Right, and so there you go, your job, right?
Yeah.
And so because of that, those classes were really difficult, especially I was also a football player. And so being an athlete and taking classes that I wasn't really loving and into, I didn't do as well as I should have. So I was kind of struggling after my sophomore year. I'm not doing as well academically as I should have. And so I went to my counselor, and I'm like, I just don't think this is for me, dude. And he asked, what's something that you've done in the past as a job that you liked? And so I went back to my freshman year in college where I worked at an early childhood center. And I remember just how fun it was, how natural it felt, and how I looked forward to it. And so I said, well, let's give the education thing a try. And so it just kind of worked out. And I realized pretty quickly the difference once I was in those classes, how I was bought in. And once I started working with kids, I realized how natural it was, and this is where I needed to be.
Yeah, very cool. And you teach third grade.
Third grade.
Have you always kind of taught that
elementary school? Yeah, I've always been elementary, third or fourth grade. And it's just, for me, it's just the right, it's the wheelhouse for me in terms of the kids. The 8, 9, 10-year-old kids I seem to connect with the easiest.
Yeah.
I think kindergartners scare the heck out of me. I think kindergarten teachers should be paid double. It's amazing the things that they do.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we get to the middle school, That's kind of tough for me too. I don't. Those kids I kind of have a little harder time relating to than I do the younger ones. So yeah, elementary school is my thing.
I think it's so important that younger age though, because you're kind of setting them up for success.
Correct.
And encouraging them in certain areas, reading and all that stuff that will help their education as they
Right.
move
And my
on.
number one thing that I've probably for most of my career with my kids is that I want them when they leave me in the spring to be able to take away some confidence in what they do and understanding that the reading, writing, math, academic portion of what we do, that stuff's going to take care of itself. It's always going to be there. But let's talk about how can you be the best you? How do you figure out what are the things that I like and the things that I don't like? How can I get better at that? All those types of things that I think make the kid a better kid,
Yeah.
more well-rounded. That's my focus and always has been my focus in the classroom.
Yeah, I love that. And one of the things I've shared on my channel is that I don't want to just teach people how to do stuff. I also want to teach them how to be a good human, right? Because if you're real smart and you know all these things, but you don't treat other people well, then
Correct.
that's not good. And yeah, so that
is
very,
correct.
very similar.
There it is.
So I guess we talked about what got you into it. And do you have teachers in your family too? Or?
So I have an uncle, my mother's oldest brother. He was a teacher, taught high school, and then actually later in his career, he was the vocational ed president for the state of Washington. So he kind of was my educational window.
Okay.
But in terms of like, I never thought that I'd be a teacher.
Okay.
Even watching how successful his career was and hanging out with him. He taught at Sammamish High School when he started. I'd be there a lot.
I went to Sammamish.
Oh, did you really?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just, I don't know. Like I said, it was kind of a lark where my counselor was like, "Let's try something new." And so there it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. So, and you're also a coach too. And with our basketball background too, you can just kind of tell that you're a good coach, but I've seen you a little bit in action from the stands and watching you, and
Sure.
you really look like you do well with that. But it's a big commitment, right? The amount of time
100%.
that takes to all the practices and all that stuff. So what keeps you motivated being a coach?
I've been coaching for, this will be in the fall, will be my 28th year of coaching, and
Wow.
and it all feels pretty much the same as when I started, other than I have a lot more knowledge, of course. But it's the kids. It's really the kids. Every year's different. Every year's fresh. It is amazing to watch kids go from the gangly 15-year-old freshman that looks like a baby giraffe to his senior year. He's an all-area player.
Yeah.
It's amazing to watch the things that sports do for these young kids. And then the connections that I'm able to make coaching these kids. That's the most important part, and that's what keeps me coming back and keeps me going. I have made some lifelong friends with kids that I've coached. So it's been a great time, and I see myself continuing to do it for a long time.
Yeah, very cool. So I was trying to keep this fairly short, and
Right.
so is there anything else you feel like you wanted to add to what we talked about? I think we've got a lot of information. We could probably talk for hours.
We
about,
probably could. I would say that no. The only thing is that two things, I guess. One is that we're kind of in a tough position. My profession is at this point with the outlook that a lot of people have, and I hope that changes and people understand. I think a lot of parents got to look behind the curtain during COVID when their kids were at home and how difficult our job can be. And so we need the support of our communities. We need the support of our parents around the country to do what we do, because believe it or not, we're not in it for the money. We love your kids.
What?
I know. We love your kids, and so we love our time with them, and that's why we do what we do. And so hopefully everybody understands that. And then the second thing would just be about you, my friend. I'm very proud of your success. It's pretty awesome, the people that you've been able to touch, lives you've been able to affect. And then, like you said, we need more people like you to be better humans. So I'm pretty proud of that. Pretty cool.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we haven't really connected a whole lot since this whole thing happened. So we were just talking about kind of getting caught up on each other's lives.
Yeah.
But yeah, so thank you. That's very, very kind of you. Just trying to do what my part, and this thing blew up to this crazy thing that I'm still trying to get my head around.
Right. I was gonna say, I know your personality pretty well, and I know this was not something that you were anticipating or looking for, and
yeah,
it's just been pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, I'm blessed to have the opportunity to be able to, do whatever I can to spread good in the world.
Yeah,
So
there we go.
So, okay, well, that was awesome, Melvin. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time and your dedication as a teacher and as a coach. And I know, I know you personally. I know you're a great guy. So, thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. All right. I hope you enjoyed my time talking to Melvin. We could have talked for hours, and so I had to kind of trim it down. But I also want to remind you to enter the sweepstakes. Make sure to look in the description to do that and get the word out to any teachers that to get them entered so that they might get a chance to win. I also want to share you a cool note about Melvin, which we found out afterwards, after we'd become friends and we were playing basketball together and we started talking. It turns out that his uncle, so his mom's brother, is actually a teacher at my high school, and was a teacher at my high school, right? That was a long time ago. So pretty cool, and just a great guy. His name's Vern Chandler. And so we have the history there. That's actually his uncle. And then his other uncle was my football coach at Central. He coached the receivers, and I always had a great connection with him, and I didn't know any of that until we kind of met per chance, and you know how things are. It's a small world. So anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. So please make sure to enter and get the word out, like I said, and just look at in the description of the video. Thank you so much for your support, and God bless you.